Hey, it's Rick here, live from PAX Unplugged for Game Trade Media. We're here with Elena, who's going to tell us a little bit about a game, about a game by Bethesda. Bethesda Games, Fantasy Flight Games.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about this Fallout situation.
This is Fallout, the board game. It is a very comprehensive adventure board game that kind of takes its inspiration from Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 by Bethesda,
Okay.
Which have come out over the past couple years. So it is a scenario-based game, so you start with one of the 4 scenarios, either Fallout 3's Capital Wasteland, the DLC's The Pit, Fallout 4's The Commonwealth, or Fallout 4's DLC Far Harbor.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So each of those different scenarios has sort of a different skew. There are different factions that you sort of have to take on. There's a different map layout, but it's all based in kind of these same elements, much like the Fallout games have. You know, there's things that you can buy. You have your inventory, you have your survivor, you have caps, you have different places in the wasteland to explore, different enemies. Like, it's got all of that in one game.
Things.
Yeah.
Now I see that the tiles have different symbolages on the back here. What does this mean here?
They do. I'm going to move this Nuka-Cola cap out of the way. So as you travel throughout the wasteland, you get to explore. So you don't know, much like at the beginning of a game, your map, you kind of have this like fog of war thing. You don't know what's happening. So this game is like that. When you start, there will just be roughly 4 flipped up tiles. We flipped up a few extra just so you can see them. But as you go, you can explore these other tiles as well. The green ones are a little bit easier terrain, a really good starting area.
Okay.
And then the red ones indicate sort of more dangerous areas. You're going to run into scarier enemies. Like on this map, that's where you start running into super mutants and sentry bots and like the big guys who are going to come at you hard. And you better have armor by then.
All right, and I saw that there's a bunch of different characters that we can choose from, and we've got 3 on the board, and we've each been selected 2 different ones. I've got the ghoul.
Yes.
What's important about him?
So the special thing about the ghoul is that he is heavily irradiated.
Okay.
Which is a bummer for him because it means he can only have 12 max health.
Okay.
But when he takes radiation, instead of losing health, or instead of his radiation going up, he gains health.
Oh, okay.
So radiation doesn't impact him negatively at all.
Okay.
Whereas the other characters, their radiation will move up along their survivor board, and if it ever reaches their hit points or their health points, they're going to die and respawn back at the beginning of the game, lose a little bit of inventory.
Okay.
So he kind of has the benefit that he will far more rarely die for any radiation reasons. You know, he'll always have 12 hit points.
He's usually going to get beat down.
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense.
He's like, and a lot of the quests too will require you to go into an area that is irradiated, and he'll be the one who's like, I'll go.
Oh, okay.
You know, because like that's great for me.
Right. I kind of get it.
Yeah, and the super mutant is similar. He's got he still takes radiation, but he gains experience points every time he does.
Oh wow.
So he kind of gets bigger, stronger super mutant.
Okay.
So each of the characters has something special about them.
Sure.
My character here is the Brotherhood Outcast. So used to be a member of the Brotherhood of Steel, has been booted out for whatever reason, and he left with his power armor.
Okay.
So he's got this big armor that unfortunately slows him down.
So he doesn't have a lot of range in his movement, so if he's being chased or whatever, not a good thing.
Yes, he explores the wasteland much more slowly than the other characters, but he gets to do it a little more confidently, not feeling like he's about to, get trampled.
Sure. Now, I noticed that you have Diamond City, downtown Boston. These are all locations in the game that they would be easily recognizable from the video game, right?
Yeah, and the designers did a really great job recreating the video game. Sort of, if you've played Fallout 4, you know that the map, you start in the upper left-hand corner, and then you sort of explore through the map.
Okay.
And as you get further into the southeast corner of the map, it starts to get a little bit scarier. So they've really taken their inspiration from the in-game map, and so if you've played it, you'll sort of get a feel for like where the big points are, the big landmarks that you have to visit.
All right, and now on our boards here, we have all these other things. I know that in the beginning we got these. I got a P and an L, and you got an S and an I.
Yes.
For the word special, what does that represent?
Special is kind of the cornerstone of the Fallout series as a whole. It determines who you are, what your skills are, what your abilities are.
Okay.
So I've started with strength and intelligence, and you have started with perception and luck. So perception you have because you are the ghoul. The ghoul's very aware of the wasteland, very aware of his surroundings.
Okay.
My Brotherhood guy has intelligence because he has spent his life dedicated to sort of the technology and the discovery of technology, making sure that the wasteland is using technology correctly, much like the Brotherhood of Steel in-game. So all of that is extremely thematic.
All right.
And throughout the game, those will enable you to interact with the wasteland in different ways.
Okay.
So if I have strength and we come up to a fight or something, then I may be able to take on that fight a little bit more successfully than you by having maybe extra rerolls on the dice.
Sure. Okay. So speaking of extra rerolls,
Yes.
can you show me a little bit of play here?
Yes, absolutely.
How one would go about making it happen here in Fallout?
So whenever you have an action, you get to take 2 actions.
Okay.
And those can vary. You can explore an unexplored tile, so you can flip a tile. You can move, and whenever you move, you get 2 movement points. You can encounter a location. So say it's been a couple turns in. Who am I? I'm the Brotherhood Outcast. So my Brotherhood Outcast has come here to Ashbury Road. He can encounter that settlement, and to do so, you would pick up this card and read some of the text to me that sort of gives us an idea of what's going on in the wasteland, and then it will give you a few options that you'll read to me, and then I make a decision not knowing what's going to happen. So you get this fun little thing.
Oh,
of
so
saying,
I read the italicized text,
Yep.
and you make a decision based on that.
Yes.
All right.
And
so,
then you get to read the outcome.
Okay. So, you pass several people in the settlement when you hear an angry voice. You stupid mutt. You look over in time to see a woman kicking her dog. Whimpering, the dog flees from his abusive master. Seeing you, he seems to trust you and hides behind your heels. You say nothing as the woman runs by in search of the dog.
Oh no.
And then it says,
So just the white parts.
all right. You can either make this asshole stop or let it go and go shopping.
I will try to make them stop.
All right.
That sounds so...
Now you have to roll, right?
Yes.
Okay.
So now I roll, and the 2 little symbols there, what are they, strength and charisma?
Strength and charisma, and there's a number,
All right.
4.
So I need to get 4 little dots. So these are the very special dice that come with the game. They're the VATS dice. Fans of the Fallout series will recognize the VATS system a little bit. You use these in combat, and you also use them in tasks like this. So I'm going to roll these, and I need a lot more than that.
Okay.
So I need 4 total. So I'm going to keep that 1 just for safety. Because I have strength, I get to reroll 1 reroll of as many dice as I'd like.
All right.
I failed.
Oh, no.
All right, so now you can read to me the failed text.
The woman turns her ire on you. You see the dog slip away as you get an earful. Oh, man. And it says add 013 trash.
Okay, so what would happen then is we would set that card aside when any result says trash. We're going to set this card aside and pull a new card out of this massive, massive card deck.
That's crazy.
This is 159 cards deep. Yeah, it's huge, and these are all things that can happen to you during the game. Some of them are specific to whichever scenario you're playing, but for the most part, a lot of these could come up at any time.
Okay.
So the decision I made there is going to have a consequence on the wasteland.
Yeah.
So fans of the Fallout series may recognize the character of the dog in that story, and they will realize that Dogmeat, a Fallout favorite character, is in this wasteland.
Right.
And the new card that I stage will reflect the choice that I made. They will reflect that Dogmeat has maybe moved on to a different place, and we will run into him later.
Oh, nice.
So someone will have a chance to acquire Dogmeat as a companion.
Nice.
Pull him out of the special little companion deck. Because he's always, the first question we get is always, is Dogmeat in the game? I don't know if we can take a quick peek at the Dogmeat card here. There we go. So there he is.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a little dog meat on your
you
adventures,
can't.
right? Very
He's
cool.
a very good companion. So he's one of a ton of companions you can pick up in this game. So as you're traveling around, you'll have other encounters like that where you run into people that you know, or they'll ask you for help, or they will offer to help you, which can be really beneficial because they each have different skills.
Okay, now what is the win condition?
So the win condition of this game varies per player. At the beginning of every game, at the beginning of every scenario, you're going to get one of these cards that says what your win condition is. A lot of these reference the factions in game. So each game has 2 warring factions. And so this tells you that you need to side with one of those.
Okay.
This is the mechanic that makes this game semi-cooperative, in that I can be allied with the railroad and you can be allied with the railroad. So we both want to do everything we can to make the railroad succeed because it gets us more points.
Perfect.
But there's other things in here, like you want to be able to gain the most special tokens, explore most of the map, have the most drugs in your inventory.
Okay, all right.
It's a Fallout game, you know.
Right.
We chose a very special card here, and that you hear there's a little bit of cussing in the game.
Sure.
There's a little bit of, I mean, it's that Fallout edge.
And everybody's going to recognize this, and it'll be very familiar to them.
Yes.
If you're a fan of the video game, easily translates to become a fan of this as well.
Absolutely, and I think people will see that, you know, it's reflected in the game, and that every element of Fallout, you know, Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 at least, are here. You know, you've got all your companions, your favorite weapons, your favorite armor, and all these different stories that you can tell throughout the wasteland. So while there are only 4 scenarios, there's tons of branching quest lines that you can explore and play again and again and again.
I love it. Now, is this already out? Is this coming? What's the information you can give us on that?
This is coming out on November 30th.
Okay.
So very, very soon, which is a question we've gotten a lot of. So we're really excited to share that.
Awesome.
And it will be, I believe MSRP is roughly $60.
Nice.
So,
that's perfect.
Yeah, a very video game price point.
I love it. Very video game price point indeed. So there you have it, everybody. Thank you, Elena, for coming by and sitting with us and showing us Fallout by Fantasy Flight Games. Just a little shout out, if we will, real quick. Thank you, Carolina Game Tables, for letting us use your streamer table this weekend here at PAX Unplugged. And also, if you are here at PAX Unplugged, stop by the booth here at 203 and get yourself one of these little cards, which gives you some instructions on how you can win this great prize pack of games and accessories from us here at Game Trade Media. And we'll be announcing that on Wednesday following the show. So, on that note, where can they go to find out more about the game, real quick?
FantasyFlightGames.com.
Okay, and where are you here on the showroom floor?
We are booth 703 and 603. Right in front of the doors when you walk in.
Right in front of the doors.
Yeah, we're right there.
Well, it's two big demo. Big demo areas.
Big demo areas. You'll see a big Fallout poster over our Fallout demo space.
Perfect. Again, Elena, thank you very much. And everybody out there watching, stay tuned. We're going to be right back with another awesome bunch of information on some cool games.
Don't forget to subscribe to Game Trade Media, leave a like, and comment on what videos you'd like to see next.